Hey y'all, hope you're doing well. Merry Christmas. Justin here from 99 Lifetimes. And I just wanted to make a video quickly comparing and contrasting the three Streamlights from the Stream series. You have the original right here in the Coyote Tan. This is the Microstream, coming in at 250 lumens on high and 50 lumens on low. Then we have the Macrostream, came out about a year and a half, 2 years ago probably. This one's going to get 500 lumens on high and 50 on low. And you step up to the big boy, the Megastream. This is going to come out at a whopping 1800 lumens with 26,000 candela on high. And this one has a medium, 3 modes in total. The medium on this one is going to be 500 lumens, and the low is going to be 100 lumens, I believe, or 150 maybe. These are 3 great lights. All of them have this great feature where you can pull out the head, and it does have a charging port built into the side of the light. One thing that is interesting though is that while the Micro has the old micro USB ports and the built-in charging in the housing of the light itself, and the Macro will switch over to a USB. Nope, this is a Micro as well. I'm sorry for that confusion. So this is a Micro as well, and you can see that the housing of the light actually charges the battery inside, so you don't have to line up the battery's port. There is no port on the battery. The light itself is the charger. Again, this is the Streamlight Macro. And the reason I got the Coyote Tan in the Micro a long time ago is that this one turns on high first, then low, but the other colors turn on low, then high, where these both start off at high first and they work their way down. And then that's interesting about this newest one, the Megastream, is that when you pull it down, the color actually exposes the battery itself. So you actually moves around a little bit within there, and you have to line the battery up when you put it in, but it works just as well, and it is really great. So now I just want to compare these lights and these other Streamlights over here that we have in the collection to other lights that run similar batteries. So just to establish what type of batteries these are running to start with, the Microstream is running a 10440, which is like a lithium version of a AAA battery essentially. The Macrostream right here is running a 14500, which is the lithium version of a AA battery, and it can both run on a standard AAA and AA, I believe. It's just not quite as bright. And then this one is a little bit more unique. It runs on Surefire's version of an 18650. I forget what they call it, but it's their same exact size and version of the 18650, and it will also run on 2 CR123A batteries stacked on top of each other as well, to provide some extended versatility. Now these ones in the back, which I'll look at the end, just as a compare and contrast. This is the Streamlight ProTac 1L-1AA, and the thing that's cool about this light is it will accept 3 different types of battery. Officially it takes DR123As, and it puts out 350 lumens on high, and then has a medium and low, and it has a 10-tap programmable function where you can change how the modes work on the light. But it will also run officially on a lithium or a nickel AA battery, which is awesome, and unofficially it will run on a AAA battery as well, nickel hydride or lithium as well. You just have to make sure you line it up so that the spring catches it correctly. But this light is awesome. No place to pull down the collar. This one you just have to screw the back off and swap the battery, but you do have those different options, which just makes it a great light you need in a pinch. And then this, just to show something different, is a light with an internal battery. I believe this has 2000 milliamps, and this is the Streamlight Wedge. It has a 300 lumen regular mode, and then if you push the switch forward, it's a gas pedal switch, so it snaps back into place. It goes up to 1000 lumens. So now let's show some other lights that are similar. But before we do that, let me just show some size comparison so you can get a reference for how big these are. Alright, just starting off with this as a reference point. This side of it is going to be 4.1 inches or 10.5 centimeters, and this one right here is going to be 2.9 inches or 7.4 centimeters. Just one thing I wanted to point out as well is that the Micro and Macrostream have the reversible pocket clip that allows you to put it on the brim of a hat, which is nice and a cool feature to have, where the Mega just has the one-way pocket clip, but it is a nice deep carry, so I do like that about it. And it does have a spot for a lanyard and the macro has that as well, but the micro doesn't. So just something to keep in mind if you wanted to run the lanyard. It might work better with these two larger lights. Alright, now moving on to some other objects to get some references. This is the original light open. Just kind of get a size comparison there. See if that helps at all. Kind of hard to see it all, but see something else. I have this ST DuPont lighter. Get that as a reference, and then I'll leave that out with, let me see, where'd that go? Anyway, I'll have to cut some of this, but here's a comparison now with AirPod Pro 2s. Compare a knife to it. This is a Benchmade Osborne 9400 Auto, but same size as a classic Osborne. Just to compare something of a knife that a lot of people may be familiar with. Another knife I could throw in there. This is the Microtech UTX70. Kind of a comparison of a small OTF, just to get a reference. And lastly, I will just pull out this tape measure just so you can see approximately. If I start here, you can see that. And that. Hopefully get you a bit of a reference. I'm going to start off with some comparisons to this Macrostream. Then we'll go over to the Macrostream with comparisons. Then on to the Megastream. And then just to see some other types of lights and different types of batteries, we will do this ProTac 1L1AA as well as this Streamlight Wedge to compare all these Streamlights. So that will be the order. Let's get started. Alright, starting off with the smaller of lights. Its width is coming in at the head at about 16 millimeters, so pretty thin for the pocket. It does have that dual weight clip. Again, this runs on a 10440 battery, similar to a AAA, right, and charges with a micro USB. So some comparisons I have here. This is the Olight i3E EOS. This is a keychain light. It does run on just a standard disposable AAA battery. So you can see you can get lights in a somewhat smaller form factor. So that is an option. I believe this one reaches only 180 lumens, but still not bad for a tiny little keychain light. 180 lumens, and just as a size comparison, much smaller for sure. Put that off to the side. Moving on now, comparing it to something very similar to itself. This is the Olight i3T EOS. This is running currently a 10440, even though it's only supposed to run AAA, but it does seem to run fine. It runs a little hot, but that's why I have this little warning label on it. It did have a two-way clip, but it broke. It is not as bright with a AAA battery as this one, and you do have to take the battery out to charge it, and it did not come with a rechargeable battery. It runs on disposables, although you can run certain types of rechargeables like I am right now with this 10440 in here. That is not technically approved, but you get less lumens, but it is a slightly smaller package and comparable color and, direct competitors to one another. Now let's move on to this next light. This is the Raylight Pineapple Mini. This is going to come in titanium with the waves. This has a nice 519 AA Nicea reflector, and it just runs great. Might need to be charged actually, but it's awesome. It's programmable, has a spot on the cap for a tritium, and as far as size is concerned, it is pretty similar and actually going to be slightly brighter. I believe this one runs up to 550 lumens if I'm not mistaken, so definitely a bit brighter, also running on a 10440 or a AAA. And lastly, for the comparisons on this light, I would like to point out this Coast 619. Just got this light recently. It has a nice even focus focus beam. It's great for inspecting parts, things like that. It does run on a AAA. It's not meant to run on a lithium battery, although I did test it briefly and it seemed to work, but didn't increase the brightness. But just showing different options. This one is going to be slightly larger, but all pretty similar in the AAA category. So let's move on to the Macrostream. Next up, we have the Streamlight Microstream. Now this light is running on a 14500 battery, or a lithium version of a AA essentially. This can run on nickel hydride batteries or disposables as well, but to get the best performance you do need that 14500 battery. So I'll compare this to other lights in the category and battery size, comparing it to the O-Light. Now this is the AA version of the light I showed earlier in AAA in the last category. This is a special edition made of copper. It does have a high of 300 lumens, so not quite as bright compared to the 500, but I do like how when you put it on high, it steps up and kind of like fades on. It doesn't just come on automatically, it kind of ramps up, which is really nice, and definitely a smaller package. So it's definitely going to be a lot heavier, but if you were to get normal aluminum, it would be lighter than this probably. So just put that off to the side as a comparison. Next up, we have from Through Night, another great light right here. This one, just to finish up with this, it does have the reversible pocket clip, but you do have to take the battery out to charge. Now this one, on the other hand, has the collar that releases. This is the Through Night Archer Pro S, and if you just pull this collar down and give it a little twist, it reveals a Type-C port, which is always great. Definitely my preferred port. And twist that back up, and this will run on a 14500 as well. The battery is not removable in this light, so you are stuck with it, but it is in that same category. I believe this is putting out over 1000 lumens, like 1200 maybe. It does have stepless dimming and a reversible pocket clip, so it is nice. Definitely a cool light as well, and definitely a little bit smaller as well than the Macrostream. So now let's move on to another option. Now for something a little bit more tactical, but still running on that same 14500 or a AA battery as well, this is going to be the Ace Beam TAC AA, and again, it runs on just a standard AA battery, has the reversible pocket clip, more of an aggressive tail cap, and it's a thrower. Definitely has a high candela rating. I don't remember the exact number, but it is very high for a light like this. I think above 30,000. So a nice tactical little light, and definitely a little bit larger. I mean, getting in the pretty similar size to the Macrostream, but a little bit more aggressive of a bezel and tail cap. So let's move that over to here. And just to give one last example in that size category, this is from Phoenix. This is a great light as well. It is the LD12R, or the 12R, and what's cool about this light is the clip is magnetic, and while it does shine light out the front up to 600 lumens, what you can do is you can turn the light on and then give the head a little twist, and then the side light has 3 different modes of brightness, and you could magnetize the clip to something and then use it as a reading light or a light at night. So super useful, really nice, really like this light a lot. And it does also have, if you screw down the collar, a Type-C charging port, which is always great. This light is a little bit larger, but you're getting a lot of great features with it, so it's to be expected. When you compare it to the Macrostream, it's definitely a little bit longer, but not too much bigger. Clip sticks out a little bit more, but it does have the magnet built in and the extra light, so just an interesting comparison. So now let's move on to the Megastream. Moving on to the final light in the Stream series, this is the Megastream. Again, this is running on 1800 lumens on high, and a medium of 500 and a low of 150, I believe, or maybe 50, something like that, forgive me, but this is definitely a larger light. It is running on Streamlight's proprietary version of a 18650. So I will show you that now. It's a little bit different. It is the SLB34, that's what they like to call it, but it's essentially just a 18650 battery. So pop that in, and one thing to keep in mind with this light is that since this doesn't have a charger built into the frame or the body, it actually just has a cutout in the window. So you want to make sure that when you reinsert the battery, that it's lined up correctly in that position so that you can charge it without having to remove it from from the body, as intended. Just because if you don't line that up properly, then it may, not be in a position where you can charge it without having to take the tail cap off and reposition it. I do find it kind of naturally comes to that position, but it's just good to be cognizant of it. I like to kind of hold my thumb there a little bit so it doesn't twist around as I tighten the cap the last little bit. But ready to go. So now let's compare this to some other lights and things. Comparing to other lights that run the 18650 battery, this is the Warrior Mini from Olight. This is a titanium special edition version of it, one of my favorite lights ever. And put that down as a size comparison. This comes in at 1750 lumens, so pretty damn similar as far as brightness. Sorry, the magnet on this is trying to pull it to it, but this is the same light, just as a different pattern, not a special edition. This is just aluminum with camo. And that brings me into kind of a segue between this light and the next. This light can also run on two CR123A batteries, kind of like this light from Surefire. This is the G6X, I believe, something like that. And this light does run on two CR123A batteries. And you can see it's very similar in size to the Megastream. It is just not as bright, coming in at only about 600 lumens on high, but very similar in size, and a lot of great lights here. But just hopefully gives you just kind of a reference of the type of output you can get with lights and batteries of that size. I hope this helps you kind of see what is best for you. But I would like to also show you some other types of lights. Moving on with these CR123A batteries with another example coming up. I wanted to quickly show this Pro Tac from Streamlight as well. This is the 1L-1AA, and this light does take CR123A batteries, and it also takes AAA or AA, but we were just discussing CR123A with this light, how it takes two of them, and how the Megastream can also take two of them. So I wanted to discuss with this light, it just runs on one, but just to have some other options that run on that same battery. This is part of my Surefire collection. We have the Surefire MV backup, great little light with a really wide beam. Then we have the EDC L1-T, great push-through trigger, light press for low, full press for high. Really like that a lot. Screw it down for permanent on. Love that operating system. And then this light, one of my favorites all time. It's got red light, and then you actually go ahead and twist the bezel, and the LED slides in and out of place, so you get white light as well. So just some really cool stuff running on that CR123A battery, which is one of the options of this light as well. The Streamlight Pro Tac 1L-1AA, and another great option, and very similar in size to the Surefires as well. Definitely less expensive, but still a great light. Lastly, I wanted to highlight the Streamlight Wedge and talk about internal batteries. Some other options on the market that are similar to using the internal battery like this light are the Nightcore EDC29, great light, has a OLED display, which is really cool, and it has a max lumen shield mode that puts out 6,500 lumens, which is crazy. Great light. And then from Olight, we have the Arc Pro Ultra, a refined version of the arc field. Has a USB-C charging right here with a nice door that flips up. It has magnetic charging at the base and magnetizing to metal objects. It's got a laser button right here, and it has a low and high mode for the laser. It's got a floodlight, it's got a spotlight, and it's got UV light. It's got it all, and this is just an awesome light from Olight. And it does have the two-way pocket clip and the OEL aluminum, which is 1.73 times stronger than regular aluminum and 1.41 times stronger than titanium. And even the detailing on the side of this light, 1,800 different diamonds cut in on both sides. Incredible machining and just an incredible light. Just came out recently. And then my favorite flat flashlight of all time, of course, is the Surefire Stiletto Pro 2. Not a cheap light, but you're going to get 1,500 lumens, programmable if you prefer to go up from high to low or low to high. You can have momentary high with the tail or tap to have it on permanently. You have SOS, you have strobe, and it's just a great Surefire USB-C charging, great clip, deep carry. You can put it either way if you want bezel up or bezel down. Only downside to this light is This is about $400, a little bit less, but great light. But yeah, just showing off some flat lights to round out the Streamlight show and tell. I hope you liked it. One final look at the Streamlight collection. I hope you found this video informative and it helped show up some other options out there on the market. If you have any questions, please leave a comment. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Really appreciate the community. If you could share this and pass it along, it would mean a lot to me. Again, we have the Streamlight Micro right here. Great light. We have the Streamlight Macro. Another great light. Stepping it up. The Streamlight Mega. Oh yeah, the big boy right now. And then in a different series from Streamlight, we have the Streamlight ProTac 1L-1AA. And finally, we have the internal battery of the Streamlight Wedge. I hope you found this interesting. Please like and subscribe, and I really appreciate you watching. Have a great rest of your day.